Are Sony's new WF-1000XM5 earbuds better than Apple's AirPods Pro 2? Well, today we will find out because we are gonna compare everything from the design and comfort, microphone quality, sound quality, active noise cancellation, and more. Now, Sony has been on a roll. They used to update these a lot less often, but now they are trying to be competitive, and this thing has a redesign once again with a new kind of build that's supposed to be more comfortable. Now, the case here seems similar to the last one. Maybe it is slightly smaller. Of course, they have all this recycled material. And comparing to the AirPods Pro 2, it is a lot thicker. I'm talking about a lot. You definitely notice it a lot more when it's in your pocket. Now, as far as the size from the front, it is pretty similar. The AirPods are a little bit taller, but it's interesting that the Sony case is noticeably lighter. Both have wireless charging, but the AirPods supports MagSafe, which is nice, and Apple Watch chargers, so it's a little bit more flexible. And another difference is the price tag. The Sonys are $300 compared to $250 for the AirPods, but right now you can get the AirPods Pro 2 for $199 on Amazon. We'll go ahead and leave the link down below. Now, as far as battery life, the AirPods get about 30 hours with the case compared to 24, so that is better. But the buds themselves, the Sonys are rated for 8 hours compared to 6, and in the real world, they actually get more than 8. So if you like battery life, that is amazing. Now, opening up the case, these look really cool. I like that little microphone grill with that little color. And let's pull these out. All right, well, these definitely feel larger than the AirPods, but of course, you don't have that stem that also takes up a little bit of space. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that the Sonys have these foam ear tips that are built in. Now, of course, they give you a lot of options in the box, just like the AirPods, but what you're supposed to do is grab this, squish it down a little bit, and then insert it into your ear like that, and then the foam kind of expands and creates a nice seal. Now, I've actually bought foam tips for AirPods Pros in the past, but I'm surprised by how quickly this foam expands and how comfortable it is. It's a lot better than the aftermarket ones I got for the AirPods, but wearing these now, as far as comfort, I still feel them quite a bit more than the silicone tips on the AirPods, and the buds themselves also feel heavier as well. So as far as comfort, at least from this initial impression, I would say the AirPods Pros 2 win because they also have that little vent that kind of releases any pressure, and it makes it feel like you don't have sealed in earbuds. Now, as far as the controls, these stems make it so easy because you just click, or you can double click, press and hold to switch modes. And it makes it so simple. With that, you can also slide up and down to change volume. And I didn't think I would use that in the past when these came out, but it's been very handy. Now, the Sonys, on the other hand, require taps. So you can do a single, double, and even 4 taps to adjust volume. I think that's crazy, and it's definitely not as convenient to be able to change stuff. Now, both of these have quick connect functions. The AirPods, they just work with iPhone, whereas with the Sonys, you have to have Android to get that functionality. But of course, you can get the app for iOS devices. The earbuds are registered here, so I just hit OK. And the cool thing is that the app gives you a bunch of different settings, including different EQs, and you can customize it yourself, which you can't with the AirPods. Now, this is the microphone quality of the new XM5 earbuds, and Sony says that these have amazing high quality microphones. And this is the microphone quality of Apple's AirPods Pro 2. You let me know which one sounds better down in the comment section below. And now let's test the active noise cancellation. I'm gonna start out with the AirPods Pro 2, and switching to that, right away, all of our HVAC noise goes away, which is great. Now I'm gonna pull these out and let's try out the Sonys. Now, right away, I noticed that even with active noise cancellation turned off, because of the foam tips, most of that noise is actually gone without even enabling the noise canceling. But let's turn that on, and bam, right there, it just stepped it up another notch to get rid of most of that sound, but I could actually hear the high frequency air noise coming out of the vent more so than with the AirPods. Now I also have an airplane noise video right over here to simulate that. So we'll keep the Sonys in. Let's turn this on. Okay, well, I definitely hear the high frequencies quite a bit. Let me toggle this to off and then back on here. So it definitely helps to cut out extra noise, but I still hear more high frequency sound than I would like to. Let's go ahead and switch to the AirPods Pro 2. And I want to mention that Sony said that they have a big improvement with noise cancellation with these new ones. I'll start in the off mode. Okay, yeah, these pass through way more noise with both being off. Let's switch to noise canceling. Okay. Wow. So I hear a little more of the low end sound with the AirPods, but less of the high frequency sound. If I had to choose which one I would prefer, I would probably say the AirPod Pro 2, just because it seems like it's a little quieter overall, but both of them do a pretty good job. Now, what I want to test next is the ambient mode or transparency modes, because both of these have a new mode where it'll actually switch between both depending on what you're doing. The cool thing about the Sonys is that if you have them in and then you start talking, it'll actually switch to the ambient mode, as Sony calls it, and then when you're done talking, it'll go back. Apple is going to add that here soon. Let's turn that on. Okay, Vadim, go ahead and say something.
Hey man, how do you hear me?
Actually, surprisingly good.
Yeah?
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm alright.
How heavy is that camera? Pretty heavy?
Pretty heavy.
Wow, I'm quite impressed with how that sounds. Okay, let's compare it to the King in transparency mode. Bam, that is on. All right, Vadim, say something.
Alright, how do the AirPods sound?
Better.
Do they?
They sound better. Yeah, the Sony sound very natural, but maybe just a little bit quieter than reality, whereas the AirPods sound insanely good, almost like you're not wearing anything. But I would say for maybe the first time ever, this should not be a deal breaker or something you should even consider, because these sound incredibly good. And now finally, let's compare the sound quality. We're gonna have 3 different tracks here, starting out with an EDM track, the classic Max Tech song, and let's take a listen. Okay, wow. That was pretty impressive, I would say. Good bass. The highs stand out. I would say they might even be a little bit sharper than the AirPods, but more natural sounding. Even the mids, more, I don't know, just more natural. Wow, okay, I was not expecting that. Pretty cool, so I would give the win for this to the Sonys. Now let's switch to our second track. This song is like a modern classic track with instrumentals. I didn't want to pause it there. I wanted to keep listening. Very interesting. I want to say they sound less fatiguing than the AirPods. Now, they're not as loud, so that could be why, but once again, more natural. The bass actually is a little bit better, but the mids and highs sound a little smoother. Of course, you can go in and you can EQ and you can adjust some things. You can kick up the highs a little bit more. But wow, these sound good. And this one, I don't know if I want to say they sound better. They sound a little different, but if I was going to listen for a long time, I would choose the Sonys. And then now for our last track, we actually had to replace a rock song because now you can't use that on YouTube, unfortunately. This is Call Out by Thor, a heavy, fast rock track with a lot going on. Let's take a listen. All right. Well, that's a hype song. I wanted to like go run around. These sound really good. My only issue with it, and maybe you can get around it by going to the EQ and like boosting all the frequencies up, is just that they don't get as loud as the AirPods. And with the AirPods, for this one, I actually turned it down a little bit so it'd be more equal as far as the volumes. And I feel like the vocals stand out a little bit more here. The bass is fast, punchy. They also sound maybe a little bit more natural, like I said before. They sound really good, really, really good. If they were as loud as the AirPods, then I would be insanely happy. But overall, if you care about sound quality, well, these Sonys sound really good. And I think Apple needs to start stepping up a little bit and release a newer generation that has a little bit more capabilities, or maybe dual drivers, things like that. They don't sound bad, but a lot of other earbuds are now starting to beat them. So with all of that said, are the new Sonys better than the AirPods? Well, in a lot of ways, yes, they do have some extra features. A lot of that, some of the software stuff I didn't cover, they're similar. They have upscaling as well. They block out more sound with that foam. Of course, if you have an iOS device, the AirPods give you things like having Siri be able to read out your messages, having Find My capability, which is awesome. And once again, they are less expensive, and you can pick these up for $200 now using our link down below for Amazon instead of $300. So which one would I personally choose? It would be a very hard choice. And I know you're probably watching this video because you're trying to decide. I would say if you really care about the iOS features, the MagSafe charging, some of those things, more so than maybe sound quality or better battery life for the earbuds themselves, get the AirPods. But if you don't care about those things as much, you can spend a little bit more money. The Sonys are a really, really good option. And if you're an Android user, I think it's a no-brainer to go for the Sonys. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Check out one of those other great videos right over there. Click above to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.